In this video, I'm going to discuss whether you should be starting from scratch or purchasing an existing business. So if you're interested, make sure to stick around. What is going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Serge. Welcome to the channel. To all my reoccurring viewers, thank you so much for all the love and support that each and every single one of you have shown me. If you have not yet, make sure to go check out the God Made podcast on most streaming platforms. Also, feel free to go check out Legion Assisted Living Academy on Facebook. Also, the course at legionassistedlivingacademy.com. And feel free to also book a one-on-one mentorship call with myself. That link will be down below. Also, my Patreon, which is a subscription-based platform where you can sign up, and I actually do a live once a week, directly communicate with you. So you can go on there, check that out as well. Also, feel free to go check out ValleyALFVentures.com if you are a limited partner looking to passively invest in this niche, or you're an operator looking to actually expand your operations or sell your facility. Feel free to reach us out at ValleyALFVentures.com. And also, if you are looking to place a loved one or know of someone looking to place a loved one in a residential assisted living facility here in the Phoenix metro area, check us out at ValleyALFVentures.com as well. You can submit a form there and we will reach out to you. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of this video. Now, should you actually start a facility from scratch or try to buy an existing one? Well, let's talk about the two, right? Starting from something from scratch is always pretty time intensive. It's pretty capital intensive as well. It's going to require a lot of funds to be able to actually start something from scratch. And also, you're going to have to go through a lot more things to figure out what it is you actually need to do. Now, with that being said, you may be able to actually save some money versus actually going and buying something existing simply because you're going to do all the work. And so what does all that work consist of, right? Well, it really starts with the property itself. So if you're starting something from scratch, you most likely are starting with a blank canvas, right? The property has not had the conversions it needs to be able to properly get zoned and licensed. So when you go get zoned, there's a couple different inspections you're going to have to pass. You're going to have to pass the fire inspection, the building inspections, and then ultimately get the certificate of occupancy or get the approval from the city themselves to be able to actually operate a business out of that location. And so having that proper zoning in place is going to be the first hurdle you're going to have to tackle when you start something from scratch. So with that being said, you're also going to have to work through getting those conversions done, which if it's your first time starting for something from scratch, you're going to have to learn all of this stuff, right? You're going to have to hire a consultant, hire individuals who know exactly what it is they're doing, have done it before, and know what to do when installing, sprinkler systems, fire panels, changing out the bathrooms, what all those requirements are according to the building code and the zoning regulation, right? And so you can't simply just go and say, hey, let me get this certificate of occupancy. You're actually going to have to do the conversion itself. Now that's the first hurdle, right? And so once you actually get the property converted, once you actually go through the zoning hurdle and you have your certificate or approval from the city, at that point you have to apply for licensing. And so typically when you apply for licensing, they're going to require all the different list of things that you're going to need to do. Well, with that being said, when you buy an existing thing, you actually have all of that stuff taken care of for you. The individual who actually had it all converted, gone through all those loopholes, should have all the permits on hand. They should have everything required to transfer over once you purchase an existing business. So that's the nice thing. But you also, with purchasing an existing business or an operation or a home that's already being done and has been operating for a while, you also get to get the reputation. It might already have income producing residents. You have residents in there and it's producing income for you already. So that is the nice thing about an existing business. So whether you choose to start something from scratch or buy something existing is really up to you. But in most cases, what I found to be the most least resistant and also probably in the sense more simple is actually buying something existing. The things to keep in mind when buying something existing though is what is their reputation, right? And not only what is their reputation, but what type of average income are they bringing in per resident, right? How's the area? How have they gotten their residence? What are their relationships? If they have a really good reputation, then you get to keep that when you actually take over something existing. Secondly, you get to take over that network of individuals and also their network of people that they've worked with to place in that home. So that's the second thing about buying something existing. Now, if either one of those things aren't good, right? Let's say their reputation is bad. Let's say, maybe the care has been horrible there. They have horrible reviews on Google. Nobody really trusts them. Nobody really places them. They have low occupancy. Secondly, people really don't want to place there. Even if there is a new owner that comes in, there's just that stigma with that location. And, most people try to stay away from that. And so rebranding something might be a little harder. But like I said, if you're able to get a location that's existing and you purchase that and it has a great reputation and great resources and relationships, you're going to do really well for the long haul. Thirdly, another thing to keep in mind when buying something existing is the change of ownership, knowing what that consists of. So in each state, it's typically called a CHOW, a change of ownership. And typically, depending on how the state does it, you have to keep that in mind as well, whether you're going to take over that current existing entity that the license is under, or if you're going to, change the entity and relicense it under the new entity. So there's that little lag time or wait time to be able to do that. So depending on what it is you want to do, I know in the state of Washington and state of Oregon, it takes so long to get licensing, including like California. It takes so long to get the licensing that a lot of individuals, it's actually their model to just go and do all the legwork and get these places converted, and all they really do is sell off the licensing themselves. And that new entity, the new owner comes in and takes over that new entity. It's a new entity, so nothing has been operated under that entity, so there's really no liability there, and they take that over, and now they have this license that they didn't have to wait for. They can just start operating from day one. So that is a really nice thing to keep in mind when buying something existing versus starting something from scratch. And also, starting something from scratch, licensing can take really, really long, and you might have to wait. You have those holding costs that you're going to occur during that period of you trying to get licensed. So just keep all of that in mind when actually looking to start from scratch or buy something existing. Like I said, my method now and what I'm doing is I'm buying typically most things from that's existing. Typically it's off market stuff that I find and purchase. Now, I am also looking into starting stuff from scratch just simply because I've been through that. I've done that before. So we are also looking at that. And if it's more convenient to buy something from scratch if you've done it before, the one thing is, starting from scratch, you get to learn all these different little nuances within your state and within your city that when you go to start something, people will pay a premium to be able to purchase that from you. And so that's the nice thing from starting from scratch. You get to force that value add up front when you start something from scratch. So with that being said, I hope that this video actually helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to check out all the links down below, LegionAssistedLivingAcademy.com. Check out ValleyALFVentures.com. Check out the Patreon subscription. That will be linked down below. Also the one-on-one mentorship call. And with that being said, I will talk to you all in the next one. God bless.